opening prayer, which will be led by our very own our worship Sarah Tusina.
Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful evening. Thank you so much for Ujoa. Thank you so much for the judiciary, because if we did not belong to the judiciary, we wouldn't have Ujoa. Thank you so much for everyone who has worked tooth and nail to make sure that this day comes. And we are here, Lord, to celebrate and to dine together and shed off the stress. We pray that, Lord, you'll be at the center of this event. The word says that unless the Lord builds a house, the laborers labor for nothing. Unless you watch over a city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. Unless you are with us this night, you shall labor in vain. So we invite you to come and be with us and grace this occasion and be at the center of every program that is before us. I pray all this in Jesus Christ our Lord and Savior. Amen.
And with all due honor, allow me ask that we put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister, Norbert Mao, is with us in the house. Thank you for joining us. The only man who makes me feel like I need to demand more school fees for my English. You're welcome, and it's an honor. And to recognize protocol and also the different classes of people we have here with us, ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite her worship Ayebare Daffin, who will give us the detail. So please let's welcome her worship Ayebare Daffin to join us.
My lords, your worships, our distinguished guests today, we welcome you to this event. We are delighted to have you with us. Allow me lay down our protocol for today and recognize the guests that are in the house. And this is a protocol that we shall go by the rest of the night. Our chief guest for today, my lords, your worships, and our invited guests, is the Honorable the Chief Justice, in absentia, but he has sent a representative, the Honorable Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the Principal Judge in absentia, Justices of the Supreme Court, Justices of the Court of Appeal, Judges of the High Court, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who is yet to join us, the Administrator General, the Permanent Secretary or Secretary to the Judiciary, the Chief Registrar, retired judges, registrars in your different capacities, Chief Magistrates and Magistrates, our stakeholders that we are delighted to host today. We are delighted to have Judicial Service Commission represented by Mr. Mugisa Samuel. We welcome you. We are delighted to host IDLO Country Representative, Mrs. Barbara Clay. I apologize if I pronounce it wrongly. We are delighted to host Uganda Prisons, represented by the Commissioner in charge of custody. I'm not sure whether he has joined yet. We are delighted to host Vivo Energy. In our midst, we have the Executive Director, Vivo Energy, Mrs. Joanita Mukasa. We are delighted to host Uganda Women in Entrepreneurship, represented by Mrs. Elizabeth Kasenene. We are delighted to host members of the Uganda Law Society. With us are past presidents of Uganda Law Society. We are delighted to have you. Chief Magistrates, Magistrates, and all our invited guests. We welcome you. Thank you very much for being with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, another warm round of applause to our worship. Now, I first of all want to pass on some important communication that there is a lot that is being served. First of all, we have juice, we have water, we have other drinks. By other drinks, I mean some of us, you've left down and you had a cocktail. We also have some hard drinks over there. So please get to move along with your neighbor. If your neighbor is taking something, get to see their levels of... there is somewhere you have... there's a point where your neighbor will reach and you will need to take away that glass from them for them to stay with us on the same event. Amina. If your neighbor starts with recognizing your name and they're asking, hey Dan, how are you? How is your day? Are you okay? The moment they take about 8 sips and you hear the language changing to my brother, just know now they are at the center. When the moment they take the 15th or the 20th sip and you and you feel them now, there's a sip. When you're taking alcohol, there's a level where you feel like the government is against you. What? All those, so when your neighbor reaches that level, please ask for water on his behalf or her behalf. We need to stay together. Is it okay? We need to stay together on the same event as we celebrate this amazing journey. Now, first of all, allow me first introduce myself. My name is Uncle Mark. I am glad to be your MC for today. I work with the Next Media, and that's well known as, some of you understand it as NBS, as a radio presenter, but also as a protocol officer at that great hill there. So it's an honor being here to celebrate this day with you. We are also glad to have a team that has managed to put a lot together, but also to move this great association. So allow me to take the honors, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome our very own, the President, and to recognize that she's none other than Honorable Lady Justice Olive Kazare Mukwaya.
Dear guests, I'll observe the protocol as laid down by Her Worship Ayebare. You're welcome. No, you're welcome. Before I say more, I want to invite the permanent secretary to the judiciary to come and say just a few words here, then I'll continue. Dr. Pius Bijerimana, please.
The protocol has been laid down. I just greet you, all of you. Today I'm extremely very happy. And I'm happy because of a few things I'm going to talk about. This is a story of teamwork. When I see everybody here in this beautiful hall, I reflect where we've come from, and I must thank God for bringing us together here. When I joined the judiciary, I found a team that helped to get everything that we have today. That time, His Lordship Katurebe, His Lordship Winyidor, who was the Deputy Chief Justice, His Lordship Wamine, Principal Judge, and Her Worship that time, Esther Nambayo. This building is here. There were plans which had been prepared before, and I found them on the shelf. And we agreed that we should start with the little money that is available, because that was the most important thing. And the top management feared we could not start because we didn't have the money. And I said, let's start. We shall convince finance to give us money. We shall finish. And we did what we did. And I can assure you, this construction succeeded because of a number of prayers. But let me first of all recognize the chief registrar now, who was the head of contracts committee at that time. I want to thank you for leading a team which did evaluation and got out the most compliant contractor and who delivered these 20 towers. We did a lot of supervision with the engineer bar. There are people who are responsible for interior design. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the original drawings did not have this hall. There was no floor for this hall. There was no gym. We introduced it late. But I was told that it would be difficult to convince people of finance to give us the money. And I said, no, it's not the money, it's the attitude. In the bills of quantities, there was what is called contingency of 12 billion. Now, what I did was to put the contractor on pressure. And I want to thank Sayani for listening to me, because at one time I threatened to chase them away. They were working day and night. Now, because of that supervision and constant checking on what they are doing, there were no variations. Most of the construction, many people take advantage and ask for variations and get money. There was money in the contingency which actually we used to cover these floors. This one and the other Court of Appeal, 7 billion shillings, 3.5, which was not in the budget. The interior design, I think it was about 4 billion, 2 billion here, 2 billion on the other side. That came to 11 billion. Do you know where I got the money from? From the contingency. I never went to finance to ask for money to have these 2 floors and the interior design. But guess what? We managed to save 80.5 billion shillings out of this project. How did we save the 8.5 billion? Because at the beginning, the unit cost was $1,047 per square meter. And the whole building has got a total of 31,580 square meters. If you multiply the 31,000 square meters with the amount of dollars, then you subtract what it came to be at the end, which was $975 per square meter. You get the total from the original. That's how we managed to save the 8.5 billion. This money, we could have gone to finance and say, give us more money. Our estimate was 1.047. Give us the money. And I told finance, I'm not going to do what? To ask you for money which we have saved, except next budget, give us the money. We build more courts. And I'm happy to tell you that they have put the amount of money which was given to us in the budget, so that we can have courts of appeal, we can have all the courts in the whole country. So you can see this saving has helped us to achieve what we, maybe those people who are pessimistic would not have achieved. And I'm happy because at least we can be proud. We are in our home. Three major considerations. One is the security of the judicial officers. When you are here, I am sure, maybe not 100%, but to some extent, you are secure because this is your home, you've got security around. That's number one. Number two, convenience. You can have your cocktail down there, you come here and have your dinner, and from here you go to the lift, in the car, the basement, and you go home. Convenient. And three is the cost. I told the Ujoa when they came to my office, I said, you people, if you are going to ask for money to go to hotels and spend the money there, I am not with you. They said, no, PS, we are going to use our hall. I was very happy, and I want to thank Ujoa for doing that. Because you have saved the money, that money can be used to do something else. Now, Ujoa, Ujoa, where is my friend? Anyway, it's history. I want to tell you that my attitude towards Ujoa had completely gone down. Why? Because I think maybe lack of conceptual clarity. I think they did not know how to relate with administration. So when His Worship Asimwe took charge, he came to my office, said, "But you, man, we are together. Why should we be fighting?" I asked him, "Why are you fighting me? What crime have I committed to stop you from doing wrong things?" He said, let's start a new chapter. Then he had Your Lordship Asimwe, thank you so much for being a mediator. And that His Lordship Asimwe was sending her deputy colonel Prose Katushabe. That lady harassed me. I must report her. She harassed me. She was trying to be like a go-between between Ujoa and my office. I told her that for me, what I want is discipline here. That is all. This is not our home. This is an institution. Which institution should be respected by everybody? Because you are very big people if you don't know. You are a big people. Don't make yourself small and cheap. So I told her, I said, these are the sins you must confess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She said, we shall confess. So I met the president again. I said, Asim, have you confessed? He said, yes. Said, even what we were trying to do to take you to court, we have withdrawn the case. I said, let me see evidence. So they brought the ruling. I said, now let's open a new chapter. That's how we have managed to move together. Actually, I had vowed I would never attend your function. But because of this relationship that has emerged, I want to assure you that I will continue to support you because even in this one, I supported you. So if you continue to exhibit some good manners, I will continue to support you. And by the way, it's not only just supporting you financially, but it's also supporting you in your plans. I have had a number of institutions which have had these groups, and you support them, and lobby for you. Lobbying is very, very important. I was in The Hague sometime, and then I was told that Ujoa, if that time we were in a good relationship, you would have got some money from here. So, but the next time, we shall do that. I want to thank you so much. Have a good evening. And I'm here with you until you chase me away.
A round of applause. Thank you, PS. Now, I'm going to keep this brief because our agenda is enjoyment today. Is that right? Because, it's not about injunctions, interim orders, execution, judgments, no. Sentencing, burden of proof, although it was sort of about burden of proof downstairs for those who attended. All right, now, allow me to recognize the past presidents of Ujoa. Please, past presidents of Ujoa. And you know, whoever was a past president of this association, please. Justice Keitirima, Justice Asimwe, Justice Mugawa, just thank you, my lords, your worship. Thank you for your service to Ujoa. The other group I want to recognize is you, the members of Ujoa. I really want to appreciate you. My lords, your worships, you're not many. You are about 200 out of the 658. You are not many. I really want to thank you for subscribing, for paying your membership, because that has allowed us to gather here in big numbers. So thank you very much. We don't take it for granted. I know you people say thank you, but we are really grateful. I want to recognize the executive of Ujoa. And may I kindly ask you to join me here. Ujoa executive, please. All of us here. And as they come, I want to share that the Ujoa story has been a long one. For those who have just joined us as judicial officers, our invited guests, Ujoa is over 50 years old. She's over 50 years old. She started as a magistrates association, and now she merged into a judicial officers association. It's no mean feat to get judicial officers together to ask them to associate. So, it's not easy for us to associate. It is not easy at all. We have egos, we have backgrounds, misconceptions. We have all kinds of things that would prevent unity from taking place. 50 years ago, a group of magistrates said it was a good thing for us to associate. The Law Society did it a long time ago, and may I recognize all the past presidents of the Law Society of Uganda. Are they here, past presidents? Of course, we have one here. Justice Oscar, please. Yes, yes. Senior Counsel, JMM Gisha, yes. It's important to recognize these leaders because assembling us and leading us is not easy. So we've been doing this for the last 6 months, myself and this executive here. It hasn't been easy, I can assure you. And now we are in the information age. We have WhatsApp. You post something, and we shall talk about it. We shall give you the feedback immediately. You don't have to wait for a memo. We shall tell you what we think. But this team here that you see has pulled off this dinner. It has pulled off this dinner. You see the beauty, the standard, the quality, this team right here. And I want to commend them for their unity, the fellowship we have when we are together. And by the way, that is why we are here. We are here for fellowship. Do you know what that means? Fellowship. This is now my fellow right here. So the ship is the relationship, is the relation we have between each other. So whoever you're sitting with there, that's your fellow. You know, don't worry, it's gender neutral term. Don't worry. Gender neutral, totally gender neutral. Oh, all right. So we want to normalize friendship in the judiciary. We want to normalize it. So it's not an alien concept that when you work here and then you work in court and then you have to look for your friends elsewhere to meet up. You're like, I've finished working now, where are my friends at? You know, where are they? So that we can hang out. We want to normalize the friendship within the courts, within the judiciary, within our teams, even across the hierarchies. That's why we are here tonight. So, like I said, there's no agenda. The food is there, the drink is there. Today, my lords and your worships and our invited guests, it's a time to eat, to drink, and to? No. To eat, to drink, and to? And to fellowship. And to fellowship, and to swallowship, and to be merry. And I can tell it's already difficult. I can sense, there's some kind of difficulty. There's a difficulty there for us to loosen up. But those drinks are flowing, and if what the MC is saying is correct, it will happen in due course. So thank you so much for coming. Enjoy yourselves. I want to do the introduction. Let me introduce the members of the executive. The vice president is Her Worship Daphne Ayebare. She's a magistrate grade 1. She sits at Fort Portal. She was the chairperson of this committee, organizing committee for this dinner. So everything you see here was under her leadership. Thank you, Your Worship. We have the General Secretary, His Worship, Conrad Oroya. Conrad Oroya, you see the wave, he's preparing for something. So, Magistrate Grade 1 LDC Court, our General Secretary, the engine of the association. We have the Treasurer, the Assistant, the Deputy Secretary. Her Worship Praise Ahurira. She sits in Matuga as a Magistrate Grade 1. We have the Treasurer, Her Worship Christine Turamamwe. She is the Research Assistant, the Research Officer for the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice. She's our Treasurer. We call her Auntie Money. Don't let her size fool you. She's a very powerful force. Yeah? Assistant Treasurer, Her Worship Lilian Mazimwe. Kenyana. She's also our Auntie Money, Assistant Treasurer. She sits at Entebbe Court. Oh, I don't see the... Okay, the Publicity Secretary, I think they are doing publicity because they are not here, but His Worship Akoko Patrick and Her Worship Marlene Obizu, they must be doing some publicity around. We shall see them later. And the next is Supreme Court Representative. All right. With all the honor and respect, the Honorable Lady Justice Catherine Bamungemerire, Doctor. She represents the Supreme Court on the executive. The Court of Appeal Constitutional Court is represented by Honorable Justice Oscar Chihika. And I can assure you don't see him standing here. He cracked the whip and got us to do these things to this standard. He said, people are corporate now. Don't think about, any other thing. So we thank you very much, my Lord, for that effort. Representative of the registrars of the High Court, sorry, my lady, Honorable Lady Justice Celia Nagawa Kala, represents the High Court, and the mobilization strategy of hers was to call and call and call until you get here. So the majority of people here are from the High Court. Thank you, my Lord, for that strategy. Thank you very much. Registrar's representative, Her Worship Sarah Tusime Barunji. She's the Deputy Registrar at the Family Division of the High Court. And as you can see, she's a prayer warrior. All right, thank you, my Lord. Yeah, it can happen. Representative of Chief Magistrates, Honorable, Your Worship. Moses Nabende. He sits at Fort Portal, and he represents the Chief Magistrate. Thank you so much, Your Worship. Your Worship Marlene, do you want to come forth so they can see you? Just a bit closer here, Her Worship Marlene Obizu. She is the Deputy Publicity Secretary, and she comes from the United States of Arua. She sits at the Judicial Studies Institute. A representative of Magistrates Grade 1, His Worship William Muonge. He sits at Fort Portal. And the grade ones in the judiciary, are about 383. They are our largest constituency in the association. He's their representative. Magistrates grade 2 are represented by His Worship Stephen Waiduba. We have about 16 of them left, and he's their representative. So thank you so much. We don't want to keep you waiting. Mr. Samuel Mukwaya, please stand up for recognition. Mr. Samuel Mukwaya. That's the youthful gentleman who ceded his freedom to be my husband, for the rest of his life. My husband, thank you very much for coming and supporting us.
Thank you very much. My Lord President, I request that you don't sit yet. With your permission, allow me request you to just stay back a little bit. My Lords and your worships, our invited guests, at this particular moment, as an executive, we sat and decided that we need to give a little touch and a little change to the Ujoa logo. Now, it is my honor, and I am deeply humbled, to invite the chairperson of the rebranding committee, the Honorable Justice Catherine Bamugemerile, to come and take us through and give us a brief history on why we decided to brand as we have rebranded, and to lead us to the unveiling of the new logo. My Lord, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. I would like to thank the President of Ujoa, the first woman president. Yay! I would like to thank her so much for giving me the opportunity to chair this auspicious committee of rebranding. When I was asked to chair this committee, I remember confessing to her that I don't think I will manage, because I thought it was going to be daunting, and I probably wouldn't have the space and the time to do what I thought would be a very good job. One of the reasons, and I'm sure many of you, people who work with companies that do branding, understand the value of rebranding. There are times you need to change your face so that you actually create, you send up a message that, you know what, we mean business here. And so we looked at the brand we had, and we thought, apart from being a bit blunt, because it just had blue and white, we thought we need to add some color. But I also thought, like the PS said, Buena PS, we are new people. This is a new outfit. We are doing new things, and we want to go to higher places. I mean, in the sense of taking Ujoa really where it ought to be and higher. And so we thought that rebranding is one way of doing that, and that is why this evening we are going to showcase what we have done. And so you will find that there are a few more colors within our blue and white. We still maintain the blue and white, but in there you will find that we also recognize that we are Uganda, because we looked at all the countries, and I would like to thank the President very much. Our President has really done collegial work with the presidents of other African units to make sure that we had all the logos of all the African units, and we looked at them, and then we chose what we thought stands in between there for us to represent our Ugandanness and also the fact that we are judicial officers. So this evening is my honor to launch the new brand of Ujoa. Welcome with me.
We are the chosen few. You chose me, and I chose you with a chosen few. Oh, and we are lucky people. You got me, and I got you with a chosen few.
Okay. What we're going to do now, Madam Vice President is going to count, and then you will see the logo coming off from behind. Let me pass the microphone to her, and then.
Thank you very much, my Lord. Just hold on a little bit. So, because Ujoa is for us and by us, and we are here because we are celebrating our being together as an association. So I request that we all count on the screen, and then our new logo will be unveiled. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
So there you can see our new logo.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our new logo. I'll just before we go into the awards, I'll tell you, there's only one thing we believe for us for 1 year. If you're here married for 1 year, we are still probably learning a lot of things. But the only one thing I'm still understanding, you know, in marriage, the only institution where what was yours becomes ours. Your car becomes, your children become, your land become. Recently, I had traveled. I came back into the country, just traveled for 1 month. My wife had gotten a loan. I was checking through the house, I saw loan papers. I said, Mukwano, what is this? She said, that's our loan. I said, that's yours alone. I think this is a time where we should separate some things in marriage. A loan cannot be ours, really. So, but we want to thank all of you. And we now have a bundle of gifts to serve you, our dear loved ones. Now, we have a number of awards, and we'll go into the awards session. I know that our dinner is yet to be served. So we'll do this real quick.
So the next thing we are going to do, my lords, your worships, ladies and gentlemen, is to give out awards as Ujoa to our retired colleagues, our colleagues who retired. We are going to call them one by one, the ones who retired this year. And the first is, let me have a okay. His Worship Lord Tiang Paulins, Magistrate Grade 1. Were you able to make it, your worship? If not, we can have the Magistrate Grade 2 representative to pick this award on your behalf. Your worship, Stephen Waiduba.
Stephen, please pass on this award to His Worship Paulins Lord Tiang for his distinguished service as Magistrate Grade 2 in the judiciary of the Republic of Uganda.
The next award goes to His Worship Odoye Moses Tabu, Magistrate Grade 2. Your worship, don't go far. It seems your colleagues didn't make it today. Thank you, Your Worship, for receiving the gifts on His Worship's behalf. Thank you very much. Round of applause. His Worship, our Chinedi Freddy, Chief Magistrate. Your Worship, our Chinedi Freddy, Chief Magistrate. Is he in the room? Chief Magistrate representative, please come.
The love you've given to me.
Thank you. The next award goes to the Honorable Justice Dr. Henry Peter Adonyo, Judge of the High Court. My Lord Justice Celia, please come and pick the award on behalf of His Lordship, Justice Henry Adonyo. Thank you very much.
I trust you in my arms.
You received this on behalf of Dr. Adonyo, Henry Peter, for distinguished service as a Justice of the High Court of Uganda.
Thank you, my Lord. The next award goes to Honorable Justice Godfrey Namondi, Judge of the High Court. He retired this year as well. My Lord Justice Celia, please.
Can I invite Justice Catherine Bamgemerere to receive the award for Lady Justice Faith Mwonda for her service to the judiciary. As you may all remember, Justice Mwonda started as a grade 1 magistrate and went through the ranks up to Justice of the Supreme Court. With all the humility, I want to invite Honorable Minister Norbert Mao to come and receive the award to the Chief Justice as patron of Ujoa. Chief Justice Alphonse Chikamoi Owinyi Dolo.
Let's put our hands together for all the celebrants in the house.
Now it's my honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Norbert Mao, to come and make your remarks.
So the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Justices of the Supreme Court, the Principal Judge, Chief Registrar, the Judges of the High Court, my friend, the Permanent Secretary, aka Quinini, Your Worships, and then my fellow strangers and court users. First, this is my first Ujoa dinner. And believe it or not, I was invited personally by the president. Sometimes you get a card, but some of us actually got a message, a personal message. So I feel truly honored. As you know, these days, we in that building of the Ministry of Justice are not welcome in some other places, in some other associations. So really, we thank you for giving us asylum. We are now hiding here. I hope you can protect us. It's supposed to be a happy day. This is a conference hall, but we have not come for a conference. So there is nothing to do with anything to do with scholarly speeches, anything to do with who we are. But definitely, the tone has been set by the president that this is about fellowship. Now, Permanent Secretary and your technical team, congratulations on this. This building to begin with. I have heard rumors that you have other facilities that make your lives more comfortable and deal with things like stress and muscular pain and so on. I hope I'll be allowed to be an auxiliary member, particularly of those facilities, without the burden of having to deliver any judgment. The permanent secretary told a lie by saying that Her Worship Katushabe Prosi harassed him. I want those of you who think you can harass Dr. Bijirimana, put up your hands. I think that is like sharing a swimming pool with a crocodile. I don't think anyone can harass Dr. Bijirimana. Dr. Bijirimana is Mr. Straight Talk. He says things the way they are. Whether the rules of politeness don't exist. But I think he makes a very good company for you. Because when you are bored, then you think about him. That's why I call him Quinini. But he gets things done. You know, when Abraham Lincoln was fighting the Civil War, he appointed General Grant to be the commander of the armies. Then a report came from the field that the guy is a drunkard. So Abraham Lincoln said, okay, what brand of whiskey does he drink? Send him more, because the guy fights and he wins wars. So I hope there are many reasons for disregarding the other attributes of Dr. Bijirimana on account of the fact that he gets things done. But Dr. Bijirimana, even if you boycott this party, you will be the loser anyway. I can tell you, I have seen these justices and judges and their worships out of their judicial attire and judicial demeanor, and I can tell you I'll never miss a single Ujoa dinner. I rather join one of the companies serving drinks just for the sake of coming back. We are hoping that we shall be today inducted as members of Ujoa. I delayed to arrive. I came late because I was preparing my CV. I saw the position of Deputy Chief Justice is open. So I haven't lost hope of becoming a fully fledged member of Ujoa. Of course, I know there's a Deputy Chief Justice in here, but I'm not the one. But I'll not fail to try. So, Dr. Bijirimana, if all fails, we shall at least put in an application so that by court order, we are made members of Ujoa. And seriously, I am an accredited court mediator. Yes, seriously. That is not a joke. And I'm being supervised by the head of the commercial court. I leave the ministerial title outside the gate, and then I meet clients, and my job is to tell lawyers. Actually, lawyers can be a problem. I don't know when they realize that the case is not about them. I'm sure you all have experience of meeting warring parties in court without the lawyers, and the problem is solved more easily. Don't report me. So, as a court-accredited mediator, I hope Ujoa will find some position for the likes of us. Dr. Bigirimana, yours is a more uphill task because you never studied law. You have been around lawyers for a long time, so yours will have to take a different direction. Now, there's a lot of hazards in the work you do. And I'm here primarily to let you know that we are aware of the problems you face. Some of the problems are actually life-threatening. You know, one time a man called Richard Arinoite tried to strangle her worship, as she then was, Alivitza, using her own bangle. You know, someone removes your bangle and uses it to strangle you. You face attacks in the media and social media. You get accused of high crimes and misdemeanors. And sometimes, when people lose cases, they decide that the judge must have been bribed. That's the terrain in which you operate. So I am here to let you know that notwithstanding that, people need to look at your overall record. I don't think you can assess a judge on the basis of one case. These days, people even have the temerity to think the president is part of the judiciary. When they have faced problems in court, they then go to the president. And then there is a group of people who write dossiers on judicial officers, either accusing you of being disloyal, of this and that. So, speaking as a politician, it's our job to protect judicial independence. There must, of course, be judicial accountability. Judicial independence cannot be a way of doing away with judicial accountability. But there is where people exceed the limits of demanding accountability. And that is where some of us come in. Many of us of our generation, we know you, but I'm sure none of you has ever received a call from the Minister of Justice on any matter concerning him or even anything. It is important to know that we need first and foremost to trust the system. So it is your duty to make sure the system works. People complain of cases taking too long and so on and so forth. I'm sure every system must have a way of cleansing itself. Talking about allegations, I said this in Parliament. You know, there are people who receive money in your names, by the way, in case you don't know. And then they tell people, I will talk to the judge. So one day I stood up in Parliament and talked about a case where somebody received money in the name of the judge, but of course the judge was not involved. It was a clerk who had seen the judgment. And knowing where the judgment was going, he decided to make a collection because he was sure. Said, I can promise I'll deliver this. But you know, judges are always thinking. So the judge found an authority which overturned the judgment. So the judge went the other way. So this gentleman came very happily, dressed very nicely for sort of wedding day in court, victory. And the judgment was read, and he was very sure, looking at the judge saying, yes, we are doing business, we are in business, so definitely. When the verdict was pronounced and this gentleman had lost, he told his lawyer, this is unacceptable. I paid. So they went to see the judge. And he said, I gave your clerk the money. The clerk was summoned, and the clerk had to confess. He said, you know, my lord, I had seen the draft judgment, and I leaked it for my benefit. So I hope if this is any consolation, you should know that out there is misinformation, disinformation, and outright malice. But it brings to mind an American case where a judge handled this question differently. So when the parties appeared in court, he summoned the lawyers and he said, I have a very important matter, come to my chambers. Then he revealed to them, he said, Counsel A, you gave me $40,000. Counsel B, you gave me $50,000. Then he pulled $10,000, and gave it to the guy who had given him the 40,000. So he balanced the books. He had received, now it was 40-40. The other one had given 30, this one had given 40. So he removed 10 from the 50 and gave to the one who had given 30. And he said, now that you are draw, I'll decide the case on its merits. I'm not advocating that approach, but it may just send a message. Because if one lawyer gives me 50 and another lawyer gives me 30, I'll remove the 10 from the 50 and top up the other one and say, you know, you are now all draw. It is important that we continue encouraging our judiciary so that the one who gives me 40 and the one who gives me 50 realize that I've removed from the 50 and given 10 to the one with the 40, and it is all draw now, 40-40. More importantly, we have to warn you, we are lawyers. Fortunately, all of you are lawyers. Lawyers are tricky. There's one lawyer who went to his rich client and told him, the judge loves cigars, and I'm going to send him a packet of the most expensive cigars. And then his rich client said, don't even try it. That judge is a judge of the highest integrity. You are sure to lose if you even attempt. Of course, they had a bad case. Most of those who do that have a bad case usually. So, the case was decided and the rich client won. So, this rich client who had advised the lawyer not to send the cigar said, thank you very much. I hope you realize the wisdom in my advice not to send the cigars. He said, yes, thank you, but I sent the cigars. Only that I put the opposing lawyer's business card in the box of cigars. So the judge was offended by the other lawyer. Well, this is just to warn you that we are always full of tricks. We the lawyers, you need to really, really study us. We are always finding a way to pull a fast one. But that is who you are anyway. it is very important for Ugandans to know that justice is a pendulum. Sometimes it swings for you, sometimes it swings against you. So don't get too worked up when we fume. We all fume. I've had the president fume at the judiciary, particularly in the matter of bail. He really fumes. That is okay, because you are on record. Actually, you are the only people who will never die, as the Chief Justice always says. The rest of us may die, but judges never die, because you are always being quoted forever. So I hope this gives you an idea about the seriousness of what citizens expect of you. Finally, I didn't know, the last time I visited this conference room, I didn't know it was shaped in a form of an L. So I was looking around because, you know, my wife is not around. I've been told there will be dancing, so I'm looking around of who will be kind enough to dance with me. So I realized there's a corner here. But of course, Dr. Bijirimana must be to blame for designing something which is shaped like an L. When I entered the room, I thought this part was the whole thing, only to realize that there are more resources this way. You know, like in the Ugandan oil industry, more oil wells are being discovered. So, I want to thank Ujoa for giving us an excuse. I will not call it a reason to sit here. I know that not all of us here are members of Ujoa. There are some of us who are members of the Law Society. I see former President Adriko. So will all the former presidents of Uganda Law Society stand up? Yes. We have now Justice Chihika. We have got Senior Counsel Adriko and my very own teacher of civil procedure, JMM, the one and only. I know these days you may have the Law Society in charge of Kim Jong, I don't know who, but it's okay. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I look forward to a sumptuous dinner and dance, and all protocol is suspended. There's nothing like a minister leaves early. Don't wait for me because I'm around. Thank you very much.
A round of applause. We have one more speech left, but before I call our last speaker, there is a book outside. It's called Delayed Justice. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Chief Justice because apparently you cannot have a representative. Honorable Chief Justice, please come and make your remarks.
I think whoever decided that I would speak after Norbert Mao must be a very mean person, because you cannot hear such humor and then you want to listen to another speech. But I must thank you, Honorable Minister Mao, for actually giving us our first course. When I came in, I was told that it's a 3-course meal, but I think we are going to actually have a 4-course meal, because we've already had our first meal, and I think everybody now wants to go and eat. Minister Mao has said no protocol, no hierarchy, But, and he's actually following exactly what the president of Ujoa had told me, that this is an evening of fellowship. But when she was saying it, I was wondering, you know, she says, you have a fellow. I just hope that others are not sheep, double E, that my neighbors were actually not sheep. They were something else. But having said that, on a serious note, I want to bring greetings from the Honorable, the Chief Justice, Chigamoy Dolo. Up to yesterday, he knew he would join us tonight. And even this morning, he was sure that he would join us. But for reasons beyond his control, he was not able to come. So it is for this reason that I stand in those huge shoes. Having said that, I think one of the things I must state tonight is that when a lady is in position of leadership, rebranding is a must. So having the first female president of Ujoa comes with rebranding. So can we all clap to Ujoa for ushering in a difference, for ushering in a female judge as president of the association. And indeed, I think the rebranding is just the beginning of wonderful things that will happen. But I think, as I said, Minister Mao has already given us the first course. I'm not going to say much, but knowing that we are here to fellowship, I remembered something which I saw on social media yesterday, that Gen Z are already in the court, and they are calling judges, you guys. But I think tonight I allow all Gen Z to call me a guy instead of my Lord, Professor. Just call me Lillian, it's all right. So I want to invite you for dinner, and thank you for coming tonight to join all of us. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the guys that have given us those beautiful words. This is how you go back and you have no job tomorrow. That is a very big statement to pull. Now, are we still together? Yeah? Are we still together? The VVIPs, are we together? My people, I have the VVIPs, then I have people in the Chirasha. The Chirasha, are we together? You know, alcohol is such an interesting topic to break down. I'm waiting my dinner team. Please give us confirmation that we are set and ready. I remember the time, there's a time my father were coming from a party, and the guy was so high. I was afraid and worried on how we were going to go back home. So when we reached the car, my father tried to to put in, you know these cars where you first had to put in a key and lock. The central lock is the key here where the driver thing is from. When my father tried to put in the key, the key couldn't enter the hole, not because it had expanded, no, but because of the stamina. So the guy didn't have the stamina. He tried for about 10 seconds. Later he called me, said, Mark, come here. I said, Daddy, I don't know how to drive. He said, no, I'm not telling you to drive. I just want you to help me hold the car in one position. And I put in the key. Now, please make sure that your neighbor is not saying, please help me hold the table. Because things may change. We are now going to have our dinner, but May I have a personal testimony? I think the hardest thing to do in such an institution is dating a lawyer. Yeah. Let me tell you, I have a personal experience. My days of campus, there's a very beautiful lady I saw for about... Why do you want to testify before the people? There's a beautiful lady I saw for about 3 years. And you know, lawyers do have more time at campus than some of us. For us, your course is about 3 years, and you go, lawyers take on some more time. Now, I said before I leave, I need to declare some things and lay the grounds. This lady was called Maria. I know she will hear this wherever she is. I told Maria today, I invited Maria myself. I said today, Maria, I want to tell you something. The first time Maria came before me, she asked me the first statement. When I told her, I want to tell you something, she said, Mark, please submit. I said, now, who uses such a statement in such a situation? Submit? Now, for us, as a social worker, when I had submit, I said, now, which submission? Now, I started, I said, Maria, I've seen you for about 3 years, and I think it's time for me to take our friendship to another level. Now, she looked at me after me declaring everything. She said, Mark, regarding the urgency of this matter, I would love to seek for more time before I give you a comprehensive response. I said, Now, when I had comprehensive, I said, I have insurance. Which other comprehensive does he want? I said, okay. As I was trying to explain myself, she stood up and said, Mark, unfortunately, this has been called to an end. I have a mood to attend to till further notice. She left me there. I took about 4 months reading everything about law. I even started attending law lectures just to get a few relevant statements to align Maria. 4 months later, I called her. I said, Maria, can we meet so that I may share with you some things? Now, I gave her the point. I gave her the location. I gave her the place where we had to meet. She went before us. Me, I walked with my 2 boys. I just wanted to prove a point that I have crammed enough. I went with my 2 boys. The moment we reached Maria, I stood before Maria. She said, Mark, so what's happening today? I said, Maria, may I approach the bench? She said, hey! I said, today I will take you. She said, Mark, please. I sat down with my 2 friends. She said, so who are those people? I said, please meet Peter and James. These 2 are my witnesses. I was coming. Hey! Now, remember the same statements she used last time. I hear, Mark, I have a quote, what. She asked me the first question, Mark, now what do you want? I said, Maria, I am just here to appeal. Hey, Nganzija! Now, I think she noticed that some things were changing. She stood up and she wanted to go. She said, Mark, I have the same statements. I have a court, a moot here to attend to. I held her hand. I said, objection. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to declare that Maria is now home cooking. May you enjoy your dinner, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's humble ourselves and pray. Almighty and everlasting God, we want to thank you for this day. We thank you for this beautiful evening. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for everybody that has shown up here today. Father, at this moment, we thank you for the meal. We thank you for the hands that have prepared it. And we thank you because you've provided this food for us. It's not that every day everybody gets what to eat. We now ask you to help us so that this food will nourish our bodies and not just for anything, but to give glory back to you. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray.
Walk together in the ocean.
my lords, your worships, invited guests, it is my great honor to invite the one and only Honorable Justice Oscar Kika to step forward. And I know you are clapping because you know what that means.
Yes, it was Oscar, Nika, and Friends, original edit. So we transitioned over time. Here is my lord on the drums. But this is just but one of the many instruments he plays. So I think today just give us a microcosm of that other side. All right, let's do this. For those of you who know she's done, that's the intro. Yeah. So now we're moving on to the keyboard, the piano. So this is an original that I wrote many years ago called Smile.
Okay, Mike, thanks for that kind introduction. Now, the next song, Smile, was actually composed by Mike Oman, who Doris and I consider as part of our household, because We discovered Mike when he was a student at Makerere University way back in 2004, 2005, 2006. He was a student of statistics, counting. This guy is amazing. You know, he graduated with a first class degree from Makerere University. And then he goes and composes, at that time, this most amazing song that we're about to play. And I believe it was Dorothy who, my wife, Dorothy, where are you? No? This side. Oh, this side. So this song is dedicated to Dorothy. She's the one who said, who composed this song? Who composed this song? And that's how, Mike became our son. So, Mike, thank you so much. He's a great talent. This is dedicated not only to Dorothy, but all the ladies in the house. Smile, Regina.
So I'll invite, is my cake team, are you ready? Do we have anything else to add on? Anything else? Okay, at the count of 3, 2, 1, and 0. And now to climax this, I'm going to ask that we shall all step back. All of us, all of us, all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the celebration? Aye, 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 aye. 1, 2. There are some people I'm seeing, and I'm wondering whether they are part of the team. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Aye, 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 aye. Mr. D. Ladies and gentlemen,